Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again to Behind the Birk. Today I'm interviewing Austin from the band Midnight Divide. They have a new EP coming up, and they have a show at Harvard and Stone on May 8th. I was about to say in May 8th. On May 8th. So please check it out if you are in the Los Angeles area, because you won't be sorry. Thanks again for tuning in.
Behind the bird. Behind the bird. Behind the bird. Behind the bird.
Okay, so first I'm gonna do some icebreaker questions.
Okay.
For you guys. Okay. What's your favorite movie? You first.
Ooh, my favorite movie? I'd have to say Lost in Translation.
Okay.
For whatever I lived abroad when I was younger, and so just the way that it captured that I thought was pretty accurate, and so I think that's why it's my favorite movie.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, it's The Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Why?
It's just a great movie, and Hopkins is just, genius. I mean, in that role, he really just blew me away when I first saw that. And the movie's just all in all so eerie and atmospherically dense.
You love the scary stuff.
I love scary stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. We were on tour, and he. Where were we? We were in some place in
Arizona. It was this mining town called...
Well, I don't remember the name of it.
Edison or something?
I don't know. It was some creepy place, and we were apparently staying at a haunted hotel for the evening, and he decided that he wanted to get his own room so that he could be haunted.
Yeah, because I figured the odds of being haunted are higher if you're by yourself, because the ghost will think this guy's scared by himself.
True, I think.
So I asked for the most haunted room, and then they had only one room left. It was haunted in the back, and you had to go all the way around the hotel. Creepy back alley of vines hanging down, water splashing, no sound, just like roaches and stuff.
They didn't have roaches in their room.
Well, not in the room, but
we're staying at that bad of a place.
Yeah,
but Anthony, the guy who's playing lead guitar for us, refused to stay in the hotel because he's so scared about hauntings, so he slept in the car.
You actually asked, can I have the most haunted room?
I did, but I didn't. The most haunted room we rented.
Okay.
So I just got a haunted room, but it wasn't even, nothing happened.
Such a weirdo.
Yeah, I know, nothing happened. I was up all night waiting for something. I had the lights out, just waiting for that, and I had the door open to the bathroom and the closet, so that's where the manifestations might appear.
I think you have to close the doors so that they can rattle it and scare you.
I know.
Then you go open it, and then that's when you die.
Because I was told there's a little girl who haunts this particular room, and she will appear to you, and she'll pull your hair, and she'll poke you in the ribs and these things. But it didn't happen to me, so...
Oh, that's good.
I know. Well, I was hoping for it, but...
Oh, yeah.
Anyway... I like
that's our drummer.
Quick icebreaker question.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show, Game of Thrones. I'd probably have to say Game of Thrones. For me, it's just like, I don't know, I guess my own weird quirk, I kind of like that medieval stuff and the fantasy. I'm a total fantasy nerd, so that one just does it for me.
Nice.
Well, there was actually too many. There was more than one, but definitely Game of Thrones, Vikings, Sherlock Holmes with Benedict Cumberbatch, and Spartacus. That's a really great show too.
All the stuff with swords.
All the stuff with swords, except almost.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see if favorite book.
Favorite book. I'd say Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I read that a long time ago, but it's just always stuck with me. It's like this giant 1,500-page book about, it revolves around building, I forget which cathedral it is in England, but it's obviously set in the medieval times, running theme here. And, I don't know, just the character arcs and, like, the depth. I'm really, really big on like actual character development, and so for me, that's why that book is just so good. Is like you basically watch these people grow from like children until they're like super old adults, and it's just like spanning their whole life, but it's all revolving around these medieval things, and it's just like, it's just really, really well written.
Well, I have a couple again. I couldn't really just name one, but I think for entertainment, I would have to say anything by Lee Child, Mark Rainey, or The Club du Mât.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't even know any of those.
Well, they're all
You say
violent.
Harry Potter.
They're all violent.
They're all violent. Yeah.
Oh, and John Connolly. Anything by him too. He's amazing. Oh, actually, and one last one quickly.
You read a lot, I guess.
The Last Werewolf by Glenn something. I'm sure. That's a great novel. Really well written.
Mm-hmm.
It's about werewolves, but it's not cheesy. It's really well written. It's funny. Look it up.
Not like Twilight.
No, it's like somebody who hates Twilight and wants to show you how it's done
Nice.
properly. It's really extremely well written. I had to look up every third word.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway, so.
Nice. This is a really hard question, but favorite song or favorite album?
Oh, that's not hard for me at all. It's
Oh.
Reckoner by Radiohead. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, hands down that song. And my favorite album is In Rainbows. I'd already kind of known about Radiohead a little bit. I didn't get into it as early as a lot of other people did, but once I heard that album, it changed music for me completely. I was like, this is just perfection. And that song, I've been listening to it since the day it came out in 2006, and I probably listen to it still a couple times a week, and it's never gotten old. We actually cover it for our shows. It's just, I think it's probably the single most perfectly written song ever. So that's the one for me.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. That song I could listen to any day, any time, and I've listened to it hundreds of times. That's, for me, the best song ever written.
Nice. So, is Pink Floyd and Radiohead like your inspirations?
Inspirations is always a tricky question because
Yeah.
there are the bands that I think influenced us, and the ones that I want to say like, oh yeah, Radiohead is a big influence, but then I listen to the music and I try to compare, and I'm like, I don't know that people are going to get that. And so I guess as far as me being a musician, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Pink Floyd for Sab, definitely. But, yeah, I'm not sure. But I don't know, the bands that we get more closely linked to are more like, people say Tears for Fears, like if you want modern, like Imagine Dragons, but really just like Radioactive, just that song. And I think it's just because they think that, like, there's some like similar production stuff going on there. But, yeah, I mean, Radiohead's my favorite band, and I would love to say that we were, some derivative of them, but not a lot of people are getting that reference, so I don't know if I can accurately say that. So,
Yeah.
but that's all right. It's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I think the inspiration may be coming from there, but we choose different vehicles to express it. Like, I would love to play Pink Floyd songs, but when I play drums, I don't really play like Nick Mason. But in my head, what I feel inspired by is just the whole package. You come to a show and it's so overwhelming what they at least did back in the day. It just blows your mind, and you forget all your troubles for a couple hours, and then you go home and you're upset about the band, and you cannot stop thinking about the concert. I want to go back there, and so that's what I think inspires me to be a musician today.
Well, and I think especially with those two bands, it's the uniqueness. It's the fact that those bands are doing what they want to do, and it's still uniquely them. And I think that that's something a lot of artists strive for. I think it remains to be seen how many actually achieve it. But when a band is really trying to do their own thing, and I think, to some degree that's what that's why we like them, and that's what we're trying to emulate, is like do our own thing, that when people listen to it, like maybe this record sounds completely different than the next one, but they still know that it's us. Because, I mean, if you put Pablo Honey on compared to King of Limbs or something like that with Radiohead, and you're like, this sounds so vastly different, but it's the same band, like just instantly. So
Yeah, I agree. And you're okay with it. That you don't care if they do something new or change the course of it because you love them for that, and you're hungry and want to just hear what they do next.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that open-mindedness is something which we have, and we also would like to have people, when they listen to our music, be prepared for what's coming next.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go back to the icebreaker questions. I guess I didn't finish. Favorite color?
Favorite color? Oh, blue. Blue for me.
Red.
Nice. Favorite place in LA?
Favorite place in LA? My apartment. This is nice.
So many people say.
Yeah, I'd say my apartment. I mean, if I had to pick a place that's not my apartment, probably my studio.
Okay. What about you?
Favorite place in LA? Well, either I would say my mattress.
Yeah.
That's very comfortable. Or
Yuka's mattress.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Bob's Big Boy. I like being in there. That's a good.
It's a good place. Okay.
I like that one.
So, how did you guys form as a band?
Well, I actually started with. I decided that I was gonna. The first EP I actually wrote and produced before I even had a band, and it was just a studio project that I decided I needed to get these songs out, and I needed to start this new thing. I was actually living in Ventura when I started it, and then I moved to LA, so that was 3 years ago, and then I put the band together around it, and it started off, and I was playing with some buddies for some of the live shows, and actually none of them. Actually, Dan is the only one now who's left over from that, but he was gone for a bit. Now he came back. So, but drummer is new, obviously Sab, and then my bassist Jace, who couldn't be here, he's new. So, and we all met on Craigslist. I found other than Dan, I found Jace and Sab on Craigslist.
That can be sketchy.
Yeah, I never had anything good happen on Craigslist except for this band. I never had any. I always kind of thought Craigslist is for losers. If you have to resort to Craigslist, then you're just done.
Dude, I've found so many good. I found this apartment on Craigslist. I found the job that I got in LA on Craigslist.
Oh my gosh.
I found work through Craigslist. Just for the new stuff with production. I found band members. I don't know, man. I'm like a champion of Craigslist.
Shout out to Craigslist.
Seriously, I love that. Let me be your spokesperson.
Yeah, and this band is the first thing I've gotten out of Craigslist that was actually good.
Yeah.
Not a scam or some other.
Yeah.
So I have to make amends to Craigslist. But
Yeah.
Nice. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with the name Midnight Divide?
That was actually, I had no idea what I was going to call the band. Again, it was a studio project, and I was writing songs, and then this lyric kind of came to me. Most of my creativity tends to happen in the middle of the night. I don't know why. I'm a night owl, and it's just, I find the nighttime more fascinating, more interesting.
There's a lot of musicians.
Yeah, it's just better. The night is just better. And it was, I was writing these lyrics for this song, and it was not quite tomorrow. It was I don't know, 11:30 or almost midnight or something. And so I came up with this lyric, the Midnight Divide, which is that kind of line, splitting yesterday and, tomorrow. So it's not technically today. It's kind of like you're in limbo, so to speak. And I just thought that it kind of captured where a lot of the creativity comes from, and sometimes how I feel as a person, kind of divided and very split, so it stuck, and I really liked it, and I'd come up with probably 50 other band names, and I hated all of them, and then this was the one that I didn't hate, and then eventually grew to like it. But I'm so particular over that stuff, so it drives me bonkers. But so that was the name, and that's gonna be the name.
That's gonna be the name.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell me about the song "Torn" off of "Embrace the Wave."
Yeah, that was our first single off of that record. That song, again, kind of in line with the same thing about being split. I was kind of going through a rough time, just like, do I continue doing music? Is this... I wanted to, but it's hard, you know, it's not the... if you're going to do it right, it's not... I mean, it's a time and a money suck, you know, it's hard. And so there was this burning desire to, like, just go for it and take a leap of faith and just jump into music full time and make that my decision that this is what my life is going to be. But then at the same time, there's that part of you that's like, well, you should probably be practical, and, you know, you should, you know, worry about things like food and paying electric bills and stuff. And so it was kind of my my catharsis, if you will, for dealing with that.
Nice. I like that. What can you guys tell me about the new EP that's coming out?
It's good.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty excited about it. You know, it took a lot longer than I wanted to finish it, but I think that's because we did put a lot of heart and a lot of thought into what we were doing. Sab actually played drums with like 103-degree fever on it when we were in the studio.
Yeah.
And we went to a pretty nice studio, and we just had one day to do it, and we had 6 songs that we were going to do. And he was sick as a dog, and but he banged out all of the tunes. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was
and
crazy.
And then he died, and we had to resurrect him.
I had to resurrect him, yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. And we came up with very great drum parts, too, because Austin and I would go into the studio before and just work on parts, and sometimes I would think of something that he wanted me to play, but it wasn't easy to do physically, and then somehow I ended up doing something which was possible, and he liked that a lot, and that would maybe change a part of a song. So we have like one song where there's the ominous spider drum part.
Yeah, the spider drum part.
And that's a cool one way we work. Just I do drum stuff, and he will hear something new or might change something.
Yeah.
According to a different dynamic or orchestration on the kit. And so we did that for a while, and then we just recorded the 6 songs. Yeah, with me being on my last breath.
Being on your deathbed.
My deathbed, yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean the songs themselves are. You know, the first EP, I was pretty happy with it, but I wanted to try a different approach with this one lyrically, and so that was why it took so much longer. I don't want to say I had writer's block, but I basically rewrote lyrics so many times because I was never fully satisfied, because I wanted the lyrics to be easily understood on a surface level, but I wanted, if anybody should choose to take a deeper dive, I wanted them to realize, like, oh, this could have different meanings, or it could be taken a different way depending on how you put the puzzle together in your head. And it's something I've always wanted. I've always loved that of other artists, where, you know, you get something on the surface, you're instantly able to, like, enjoy it and listen and sing along.
Yeah.
But when you actually break it down, then it has a lot more meaning and depth to it. And for me, that's, you know, I believe that music should exist. You obviously have the song itself, but then you also have the musical part, you know, melodies and, you know, chord progressions and stuff, and then you have lyrics. And I always thought that the music should be able to live on its own as one art piece, and the lyrics, without any music behind it, should be able to live on their own as an art piece, and people should be able to enjoy them both. And then when you put it together, it just makes it all much better.
Nice. Yeah. Do you say this sound is, like, different than your sound before? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's more evolved. I might have gone a little crazy with the production.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, there's more electronic influences, but, you know, I don't think it deviates from the core of what this band is, which is a rock band. You know,
Yeah.
we are guitars and drums. You know, that's what this band is meant to be. And so this record still is very much at its core that, but now it's just augmented with, you know, some more synths, some more electronic programming for drums and stuff like that. So I did a lot more on that side. But you know, it's still Midnight Divide. It's just an evolution.
Yeah, nice. I think all bands should have an evolution of some kind, not just staying the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to stagnate and it gets boring. It's like, oh, well, here's another guitar song. Here's another guitar song.
Yeah, comes to solo. Okay, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we tried to change it up.
Yeah. Also, I think in the band, as we are in the band longer and growing more together, I think there has been growth taking place in certain parts where stuff now just becomes more part of the band. Let's say huge drum sounds, good guitar work, and certain singing styles that Austin is using, like all these things that just kind of crystallized after we've just been playing live a lot and writing more.
Yeah, I think the longer you play with a group of guys, the more you realize who your identity is.
Yeah.
And you know, the first record, I had a session drummer come in. With this one, it was actually Sab, and so we really dialed in parts, and you know, that's why I was happier with him. So I'm excited to see what people think.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, sure.
So thanks, guys, for being on Behind the Birk. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.